Bless you.
Right there. Hey now.
What's happening, everybody?
Happy Wednesday.
Howdy.
How's everybody doing?
Good, crazy busy, crazy times.
It
You
is.
want to tell you who's here, Tony?
Yeah, dude. On October the 20th, welcome. Who we got here, dude?
See if I can do this. You ready? Okay. So I see someone named Bent Tom. Please avoid him. The exact opposite of him. Perfect gentleman, Christopher Live Sour. Dan of New Jersey is here from my home state. Mr. Dwight Bailey, the hitman himself. Fruit Cake Tony. Holly Lewis is here. Nice to see you.
Hey,
Keith
Holly.
Campbell, as well as Keith H, aka Keith Squared. Lynn Lee and Mary the Cougar too. And Mr. David Nesdall, NEZ SEZ is here. Watch him every Thursday night. Am I right? At 8
p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Yep.
Got it. Nightbot, how you doing? Papa Blue, welcome. Nice to see you again as well. And Miss Sandra Picorni in the chat, of course. Let's see if I missed anyone else. Let's see. Mike Neese, howdy. How are you doing? And who did I not see? I think that's it.
Keith Campbell.
Oh, I said Keith Campbell because Keith Campbell, Keith H make Keith Squared. We got them all, I think.
All right.
All
welcome.
Right.
Yeah, nice. Nice to see you guys.
You gentlemen as well.
Yeah. We got a few things for you tonight. Neil is going to show us a little of the inside workings of what he does building his guitars. We got a couple of unboxings. Yeah, a really cool unboxing at the end of the show. We talked about the Holly Lewis poster last week. Well, her links are down in the description, and mine has arrived, and we are going to open it a little later on. Thank you, Holly. Yeah.
I just want to point out, if anybody happens to be watching this, streaming this show, by any chance you're either colorblind or you have a black and white monitor, Tom and John both look like they're shirtless. So I just want to, I think that's awesome. That might take this show to another level.
Oh, either that or the 10 people that are here right now are going to leave. I assure you, I have a shirt on.
We had Wear Pink for breast cancer today, so you made a donation.
Oh,
and I had a pink plaid shirt on, but it got too hot. That was over this when it was cold in the morning. So pink on pink.
You guys look good, man.
But I wore my partially pink Vans, and all the kids were like, "Wow, like that's really hip for an old guy." I was like, "Yeah."
How do you have partially pink Vans?
They're multicolored. They're
Oh, okay, okay.
the ones that are patchwork, like red, blue, green, yellow, but then the whole front's pink.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say you had white Vans and you tossed them in with a red scarf in the laundry.
I have done it to a shirt though, but people on the band's website, you can pick any material that they do, any color, any pattern, even send in a photo if it fits the size requirements, and they'll make it for you. It just takes like 4 to 6 weeks because it's coming from China.
Yeah.
But they'll do it. It's not like crazy ridiculous price,
Nice.
but these were just one of those limited edition. I bought a couple of, like people collect Funkos, I collect limited edition Vans. So
Cool, man.
Nice. I heard some interesting news this morning about young Wolfgang Van Halen.
oh, what's that?
That he has sprained his ankle
Oh,
Got a boot.
stepping off the bus.
oh no.
Must have been one of those like 24-inch drop, where the last,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, reach it down. Ooh, 4 to 6. Well,
He might have to hit up Dave Grohl for that throne.
Yeah,
That's
right?
what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Is he gonna stand?
That's
in
what he
play?
tweeted. He tweeted he might have to.
Did he really?
Yeah, he put a picture of Axel on his throne. And
Right, right.
Dave
Exactly.
Grohl on his. Yeah,
That thing's gonna make the rounds, man.
yeah, right.
Oh. Poor Wolfgang, and obviously I talked about this the night that I went to last week after the Wolfgang show too. Frank Sidoris' wife has been posting. As for people that didn't pay attention last week, or if you missed the news, Frank Sidoris missed the show at the Whiskey because him and his wife were involved in a major car accident. And Alexandria, his wife, she suffered the worst of it. And I've been following her Instagram posts like a lot of people out there, and she's a trooper, man. She's a trooper. She's posted, she's up out of the hospital bed in limited time. She's got a walking cane, what are those shopping cart type things that you walk with. She's trying to get feeling back. She had spinal injuries and stuff like that, but she's posting on Instagram talking about the fight. And I swear to God, I don't know if I've ever met somebody or heard of somebody stronger. I mean, this with what she has been through in her past, fighting cancer and things like that. I mean, she's a trooper. So obviously it goes without saying, thoughts and prayers to her and to Frank, who's sitting by her side right now during this process, and they will make it through. I have no doubt in my mind that she will recover and she'll be out and about, and Frank will be able to rejoin the tour. And he's got Slash and Miles Kennedy shows coming up too, because they're dropping a new single this week, and he recorded on that. So yeah. So anyway, just wanted to mention that since we're talking about injuries.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to follow her, Alexandria Findley is her name, and Frank Sidoris. You can Google them, find them on Instagram, find them on Twitter. Make sure you follow her and send your love.
Yeah. So Wolf's continued to do shows in his absence. And he has shows booked to the 23rd of this month. He's added a lot of shows along the way, headline shows, but nothing past the 23rd all along. So I think he's going to call it a year at that point, as far as dates. And he's got dates booked for June in Europe with the Scorpions. But yeah, so what happens in between then, we'll see.
It's all speculation.
Yep, it is. But yeah, we wish Wolf
Yeah. Yep.
good on his.
Keith Campbell. Watch someone say, "Stripe the boot."
Keith, that's good, dude. That's
awesome, Keith.
that's good.
Man, L1 shit, an L1 compression fracture. That's bad, man. That's as high as you can get. I have
So,
I still have it. I have an L4 compression fracture.
so,
Yeah,
so
permanent.
that last step off the bus, it's a couple little steps and then a big step down. That last step's a doozy.
I knew someone was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see who would. Yeah, it's a doozy.
He's a doozy.
Yeah. So
I love Southern colloquialisms. They're just I can never get enough of them. My favorite still Tony. She gone.
Yeah.
So I assume that Wolf is gonna stand and play, and his mic keyboard will be the same. So now, if he's in a big Dave Grohl, Axl Rose chair,
Throne.
I'll be surprised.
I'd love it if he got in the throne.
I'll be surprised.
That would be cool.
I want like motorized though.
He's got to play though.
Playing guitar, like.
Oh man, wouldn't that be something?
That'd be so awesome.
If he had his guitar tech, like
You
with
need
the
to patent
remote
that,
control,
yeah.
moving the chair around.
Yep.
We tried to time this 9 p.m. start with some work that Neil has got going on, and
it's my fault. I talk too much, and
we almost got it, but yeah, we'll show you all about it, Neil.
Yeah. So I've got maybe a handful, half a dozen builds going on at the same time right now. And first of all, let me just say that this kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I appreciate this show and this format and all the people involved with this show and all my new friends for this opportunity, because this show has given me a lot of business, and it's afforded me the opportunity to do something I absolutely love to do, something I'm passionate about, and make money during, a relatively difficult time in our history, because a lot of people are out of work, and a lot of gig workers and a lot of entertainers like myself are struggling for work. So the fact that I've been able to do this, and Fruitcake Tony and all you guys involved with this, I can't thank you enough for this format, for this platform. That being said, one of the handful of builds that I've got going on right now is an interesting one and a fun one. I'm doing the rare Kramer Vitas Gerolitis giveaway guitar, and that was one that was requested, commissioned by a gentleman in the Ukraine from Kiev. So wow. I've done a couple of international. Obviously, we did Simon's last week, and Simon turned me on to another one of his buddies, Adam Roach, who we're doing something special for, and I had another guy overseas as well. So it's kind of cool. I've got to deal with all these shipping issues and stuff like that, and make sure that they arrive intact. As we all know, it can be difficult, but. So I'm to come full circle. So I'm doing the Vitas Gerolitis guitar, and what I tried to do for the sake of the show tonight, for everybody watching, what I wanted to do was do not an unveiling or an unboxing, so to speak, because the guitar is still in process, but I wanted to give everybody a little bit of insight into the steps along the way. And I thought every week maybe I would reveal a different 5-minute segment of what I'm doing to relic hardware, or to wire pickups, or to paint and review, things like that. I was just going to try and keep a little bit of the build process involved in every show that we do, for those that are interested. And where I'm at today with this particular guitar is I had spray painted it white. The base coat was white, because this is one of the ones like the 5150, for those of you out there that you don't, the first layer is not black. You do white and then red, and then you put black on top last. So where we're at with this guitar was I painted it white, sanded the body down, got it smooth to a white, yet left it tacky enough or porous enough where that the red would adhere to it. And my plan for the show tonight was to have it taped for the stripes, spray painted red, and then hopefully on the show live, what I was going to do is unmask the tape, so you would get the reveal of the white stripes underneath the red. And that was the plan. And for anybody out there who's a builder or has been involved in the process knows, pulling the tape away from the stripes is like Christmas morning. That's like the greatest reveal that you can have. I get a joy out of doing it. It's so exciting because you want to see that it worked out. You want to see how it worked. Anyway. But like all things in guitar builds, you have to be meticulous in nature, and timing is everything, and all the factors have to align to do it perfectly. And you want low humidity, you want warm weather, you want clean air type stuff like that. And then when you're painting, and then lastly, you want to make sure that when you're taking the tape off, the paint is not fully cured. Oh, there we go. Nice. Yeah, those are the pictures. Tony, put those up on the big screen. That was some photos I took of the process today, of the stripes, and then the painting process. But where we're at, so you want the paint to be slightly tacky, not quite dry when you pull the tape stripes off, because you don't want you want to make sure that for lack of a better term, you don't want it to bleed over. And if it's too dry and you pull it off, it could crack around where the tape lines are supposed to be. So there's a timing is everything. I'm taking a long time to get to the point, but the timing is everything. And I'm a couple hours earlier than everybody else on the East Coast. I had managed to tape and spray paint the guitar by about 4 o'clock Pacific time. And the sun was starting to set, and it's cooling off here in California. And so I couldn't wait much longer to do that. But the paint would probably get to the point where I needed to peel it off within an hour. And there's no way I could have timed it perfectly for the show tonight where I would have painted late enough and then been able to reveal the tape on site. So what I ended up doing was I painted it at about 4 o'clock here Pacific time, untaped it at maybe 5, but I set my camera up to record it. And the reason I did that also is because I want to air it for the viewers out there that are interested, and we'll play it back at another show. But also because with the tweezers, untaping every single fine line that you have takes about 20 minutes to do it slowly and correctly, and you got to have a steady hand. And I didn't want anybody to sit through 20 minutes of me taking tape off a guitar. It would just kill the mood. So
it would be like watching paint dry, Neil.
Oh, very nice. Boom. John Conklin, everybody.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
That was a doozy. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna upload that footage, and I'm gonna time lapse it, like 10 times speed, so that we can finally. So I'll show it maybe in another show. I'll reveal that process, and it'll take like 2 minutes to do or something like that. It'll just be me ripping through it really fast. But I did want to have something to reveal tonight because for people are interested in this process, and this is a cool guitar that I'm excited about doing. It's one of the rare ones. So Tony just showed everybody some of the striping patterns, the tape lined up on the white guitar. He showed the picture of the red, and what I've got here is the Vetus Gerolitis red guitar. Without the black, obviously we're not there yet. I just took the tape off about 15 minutes ago, right before we started the show. But this is one of the guitars that I've got in the works right now, and I'm excited about it. And I had to pour through, footage of this guitar is rare and few and far between. Thank God that the guitar is now owned by the Music Zoo. And I was able to kind of pour through photos that they have on their website. There's video. Rob Johnson has talked about the guitar and showed photos of his. And then I contacted the Music Zoo maybe a couple weeks ago and talked to a wonderful young lady. I apologize that I forgot her name, but talked about, you know, are they open for business? Are they doing tours? Are they showcasing it right now? Is it on display? And she managed to send me a couple more photos too of it in its display case. But yeah, so that's where we're at with this one. And all things going well, let's assume that by this time next week, I'll be able to show you the black stripes on the guitar. I will have said this one doesn't have a whole lot of relicking. It wasn't played much. So it's going to be a kind of a little bit of a glossier sheen than the rest of them. And then I've got in process right now the cut pick guard like usual, but this guitar had a Gibson Les Paul volume and tone knob, which was rare. I don't think I've seen this on any other of Eddie's Kramers. So this was one of those cool discoveries that when you really break down and analyze some of the guitars for build purposes to be 100% accurate. And by the way, no one's going to be 100% accurate. Tom and I have talked about this before in the past. You're never going to be 100% accurate. I'm always going to find something new from another photo angle that I didn't discover before. But that being said, that's where we're at with this one. I've got gold tuners. I've got gold in gold output jack. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I've got in the process. And behind me, for those of you paying attention, I've got just a mess of Kramers, of 5150s and Frankenstrats. All of those are sold. All of those are ready to go out almost ready to go out the door. And that's where we're at. So yeah, I'm having fun. Nice. I'm loving doing it. I've got Charles Green, who I talked to today. He's got Frankie, just like Tony's. He's got one coming up. We're going to get that out to him pretty soon. And he wants to do, I'm assuming he wants, hopefully we'll do a reveal on the show as well. Thank you to Simon again for showcasing the 5150 I built for him last week, because I couldn't have done justice to it like he did by being able to play what he plays, and that tone and sound out of his amp with just the pickup, the Pariah Pasadena pickup in it was just phenomenal. And he's awesome, and I'm looking forward to. He talked about his gig coming up in January. John, we discussed that. Yeah, very, very excited about that. And yeah, and that's where we're at. So anyway, so thank you for everybody out there that's interested. Daly Custom Designs on Facebook. You can find me there. You can find Neil Daly on Instagram, on Facebook as well. If anybody's interested or just wants to shoot the shit about guitars and parts and builds and things like that. Good call. Yeah, this was actually Dave asked why I used a Strat body instead of a Kramer style body. This was a request by the builder, the customer. As a matter of fact, we're not even going to do a 100% accurate Kramer headstock. He wanted to do one of the later Kramer eras, which has a tilt back. It's not, I've got Frankie necks all over the here, let me show you real quick. Good question, though, Dave. I don't want you to think that's something I missed. So this is like the style of Kramer 5150 neck. It's flat, parallel to the body. And later on, they did tilt back necks. And this is a specific choice from the customer. That
it's kind of cool, actually. That they're kind of tweaking it for their own. It's like having your own. It's like having your own lightsaber, Neil. You get your own.
Yeah, it actually is. It actually is, and more so too. Simon's friend Adam Roach, who I'm building a version of the Bumblebee with, we're doing. That was one of the fun things. He and I spent probably, I want to say 3 or 4 days going back and forth, looking at every possible thing, because he wanted to make it his own. He wanted 2 humbuckers in it. He wanted, we discussed the color of the hardware. Did he all kinds of things. So he didn't want a replica Bumblebee. He wanted something for him, something that worked for him. And this particular customer that I'm doing this body for, going back to Dave Nesdall's question, one of the things he said was he actually said he thought the Kramer Beretta style bodies were too slim for him. He thought they were too small. He liked the Strat body was a little fatter at the base, and that's what he wanted. So, and I can understand that, being a big tall guy. I like bigger guitars. I'll play a 335 just to make me not look like I'm a hulking giant on stage. So I get that. So yeah, but John, you're absolutely right though. I actually really enjoy. I've done in this calendar year alone in 2021, I've done 24 either Frankenstrats or 5150 guitars, and now I'm actually excited, and I love doing them, and I've got it down to a working science, I guess. As much, but I actually really, I want people out there to know that I enjoy going off the beaten path a little bit when somebody wants me to make something original to them, and they want that's exciting for me. It's exciting for me to find the rare one, like this particular, the Vetus one. It's not seen, it's not photographed very often, stuff like that. I really, really enjoy. And then at the same time too, we talked about this with Tony's guitar too. One of the things I want to do for the average person is keep costs down. And that's kind of what I pride myself on. I want to be able to provide everybody the EVH signature type of experience, but most of the people I know that are coming to me don't have $2,000 to spend on a guitar. And so, if a lot of people, there've been a handful of people that have sent me a Squier Strat and just said, can you convert this? Can you paint it and put a Floyd on it and whatnot and stuff like that? And so I'm kind of cost conscious for everybody, because I've said this before, so I apologize if it sounds like a broken record, but I never wanted the price to be the reason somebody can't have a piece of Eddie Van Halen. I've never wanted that to be the reason. So, a lot of times you'll see certain specific things in some of my builds going out, like, for example, a skunk stripe on the back of a Fender neck, and the purists will say Eddie's didn't have a skunk stripe on the back, and those type of things. You'll see that, or the pickup route is a little different because maybe I took it off a cheaper Fender body that wasn't routed, that didn't have the exact same curvature that Eddie's had.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. You're the only person that does that. You know what I mean? I've never seen that's very cool. So, because there's so many guys out there that want one, but it's like, hey, I don't have the cash. I would love to have one, but that's freaking awesome that you're doing it that way. That's awesome.
Thank you for saying that, because I do admit that I don't talk about this live on the show, and I certainly won't expose anybody to this, but I suffer the wrath from a lot of the purists out there. There's a lot of I've never once said my guitars are replicas. I've never once claimed that, and I won't say that. But in a lot of the groups that I'll post pictures of and stuff like that, it's amazing how many, for every 5 people that like a photo I share, there's probably 10 that'll attack me for it. Right. And it's, and one of the things they don't get it. No, they don't. And one of the things I try to explain to people is, there's nothing that I miss when I'm building this. There's that, if somebody was like, well, that's not the this, that's not the that, like Dave Nesdall, great question. I'm glad he asked that, so I get a chance to explain that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not something I missed. That's just, it's either custom to the customer. I'm building it for the customer to their specs, or I'm trying to give, to the best of my ability, a $2,000 guitar for under $1,000. And that's where we're at. So
that's freaking awesome, and I'm glad you explained that to people.
I am too. Yeah, thanks. Good question, guys. Yeah. I'm glad you asked, John. Thanks.
Without any explanation, people are going to say, "Oh, look at this guy. It doesn't, that's not how the real one looks," or whatever like that. But
of course,
when you realize that you're making this available to people who would, listen, we know what the country, people are struggling right now and stuff like that. And people want this stuff. And it's just like, oh man, I would love to someday get that. Well, now maybe they can, because of of what you're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've even had this discussion, and again, I know I'm going to get attacked for saying this, but there have been a handful of people that have contacted me that are looking for kind of like a piece of wall art. They're not really players. They're not going to go out and gig like Simon, and they're struggling with cash. So I would actually explain to them during the build before the purchase conversation. I would say I can put a licensed Floyd Rose on there, like a $30
Right.
Chinese Floyd Rose on there if that's what you're looking for. And I'll explain this is the difference between point A and point B, but I'll go through all this stuff. I'll tell people I can make you a $400 guitar if you want. If that's what you can afford. If you just want something, if you want the red, white, and black stripes because that reminds you of Eddie and brings it back, and you want to put that on a wall, I'm all for it.
Next to your pool table in your basement.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for
awesome.
it. So yeah,
it makes me think if they want wall art, isn't there like cardboard exacts of that?
Sure. And I'll even go so far as to say I had posted one of the guitars that I built that wasn't pre-sold. I had posted it on Reverb, and it was similar to the one. Actually, it was probably a more expensive version of the one I gave Tony. It did have the correct body. It did have like a Musicraft neck, so it was more expensive. And I got attacked immediately by a guy that said, "Oh, this looks like a Chinese knockoff. I smell Chinese food. You got this on Wish," or something like that. And I immediately went into about a 5-paragraph description of everything that I've done, every process, all the steps involved in the process, and I posted photos. Probably a dozen photographs of the build process when it was a bare body, to when I drilled the post holes for the Floyd, to when I painted it, to when I did this, to when I relicked the selector switch in the middle, to all these things. And I sent it back and I said, by the way, just for the record, I don't feel the need to justify or explain myself to you, but for anybody else that's reading this, I want people to know that I put my time and energy into this, and I do this out of passion and love for Eddie Van Halen, and I don't want anybody to read that. I'm like, I can take the hits. It doesn't, you're not going to offend me. I don't even know you. You've got internet muscles, but for the most part, I wanted people to know, and it was amazing because how the tone of that conversation changed, and after maybe 3 or 4 more back and forths, the guy turned around and said, like, "Oh my God, I wish I had the cash. I would love to have you build me one."
There you go.
So that was one of that was. But like you said, like John, I'm going to take hits for certain things. There are people out there that expect everything to be a 100% dead on replica.
Right. And
And if you've got $3,000 to spare, I'll build you one.
Right.
But I'm selling to the people that can't afford the EVH one. That's my market.
And you're the only one doing that, and you are the only one doing that.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this too, where price was a thing with me. Plus, I wasn't totally in love with the version that had the logo on the headstock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But so I'd asked a couple of people, be on the lookout, and one of those people sent me to you. Okay. And, getting to know you in the couple of days, emailing back and forth about what I was after,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was asking you about what kind of work you had done before, and you sent pictures immediately, and that to me made a huge difference too. So
the bottom line is this: I am my own target demographic, because I could never. I've been in bands my entire life, and I've probably had as many as 6 working guitars, at any given time, and I've never been able to spend $1,000 on a guitar. Never in my life have I been able to do that. And I've had a couple of $300 and $400 guitars so I could to come with me on stage so I could have different tunings, so I could just switch guitars for different songs and everything, and then always a backup. But I've never had, of course, I've always wanted a $4,000 Gibson Les Paul. I've always wanted, like things like that. I'm my own target demographic. So what I set out to do, and Tony, you discovered this, and I'm so happy that you reaching out to me put me in contact with all of you guys. What I set out to do was build guitars for the people like me out there. I wanted a piece of Eddie Van Halen, but I couldn't afford the EVH signature, the Frankies, the Relic Frankies, the other ones, or the custom builders that are out there that are much, much better than me, but charge accordingly. There's a lot of people out there in all the groups that we know and all these people, and I've learned a lot from them. And people like Dave Nesdahl, we've talked to him, Dave Nesdahl, Rob Johnson, Donnie Ward, Jim Francis. There's 100 people out there that I've talked to and been a sponge of their knowledge, and they've been so gracious and so forthcoming with information, and stuff like that. So I've taken all that stuff in, and there are a lot of people that can afford a $3,000 guitar, and those people aren't coming to me, and that's completely fine. That's totally fine. I'm doing the best version of that guitar I can do for more people to get more to the masses. So that kind of sums it up.
That's cool. I'm glad that, people get a chance to know that now, because, it's a very important thing that people know that,
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I guarantee you there were people that watched last week's show that probably looked at Simon's guitar and noticed, one stripe was maybe off, or something, or he didn't have a pariah pickup, and he didn't have that then, and that those type of things. As a matter of fact, the guitar I built for Simon didn't have a skunk stripe on the back of the Kramer neck, and Eddie's did. That was something that Simon and I had talked about again, that neck I had available and it was ready to go. So that was something that we discussed. And then, things like the locking nut being routed through the back, the two post holes could go through the back like Eddie's was, or it could be top mounted from the front. And we discussed this. And the irony is that in theory, the top mounted Floyd Rose locking nuts, keep the integrity of the neck stronger rather than drilling through the back. That actually weakens the headstock to the neck joint. And then of course Simon's broke anyway, but those type of, these are all type of things that, again, the guitar I built for Simon was not a $2,000 guitar. So, and he played it and he loved it. And that's all I care about. At the end of the day, if you're happy with what you get, and so far, knock on wood, so far, everybody that's gotten one of my builds, because I also have a guitar tech that sets the intonation too and tunes it and does everything. And because I like having a second set of eyes on it aside from my own when I send it out there. So I have that, all that is included in my price so that when they get it, it's ready to play and the action is low and it's everything that they want. At the end of the day, that's what I care about. I can have 99 out of 100 people blast something, say that the Frankie is too dark a red for what's on display at the Met. But then the person I sold it to says, this is the greatest gift I ever got. And I'm so happy. And that's all I care about. I care about the customer.
That's it. That's all you need to care about. Exactly.
So Neil, have you ever had any issue using the stripes?
Meaning the paint?
No, meaning. Let me. Where is that question at? There.
Some Ed.
All right. It's been because I recall back in the 90s, Ed Grant. Yeah. Yes, I have. When I first kind of started, I was doing these for a while, and I was certainly. I mean, my build requests for this Van Halen striped guitars kicked into overdrive after he passed, unfortunately. And I'm certainly, as we've talked about, John, I'm not out there trying to make money off of his passing. This is something I'm passionate about doing, and I love this, and I want more people to have the experience what I have, and that's why I'm doing it. Yeah, there you go. For the most part, when it's a commission build and you're not making them commercially available, there's no way for lawyers to track you down and come after you because somebody contacts me and says, we want to buy this, build this for me, and I'll build it and send it to them. So there's no commercial availability of it out there. Now, on a few rare occasions, when I've had a build fall through, especially like last year in the middle part of the pandemic when things got really tough, there were some people that paid me to build them a guitar or paid me 50% down. And then when I built it, they couldn't finish. They couldn't follow through. They lost their job or something like that. That kind of happened a lot last year. So I would end up with a couple extra guitars. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. There was one time specifically that I put a guitar that was a Frankie tribute guitar. I put it available on eBay, and within a couple of days, eBay sent me a notification that they took the listing down, and they said because I violated copyright, trademark things, and I kind of reviewed and I went through and I talked to other people in some of the chats, like Dave Nesdahl. Some other people have gone through a similar situation. And what it came down to in that circumstance was the wording of my description was not like there were keywords that were probably targeted by EVH's lawyers, not so much the stripe. Now, I know that the striping pattern is trademarked. Yes, that is absolutely correct. But I've never had an issue with anybody from EVH coming after me for the stripes that I put on a guitar. It's been describing it. And so I've had to amend my descriptions to make sure I say in no way, shape, or form do I say replica at anywhere in my descriptions or in the title of a list. And I've also made sure that I point out that this is not endorsed by EVH and it's not a signature line and it's not, I want to make sure all that is clear so that it is, I'm not trying to trade on a copywritten thing. And for the most part, I know a lot of other people that have said that there's ways around it, there's tricks and there's things, but for the most part, I pretty much do commission builds only. So I'm not really listing these very often on an eBay or a Reverb or something like that. For the most part, I'm, for every 5 guitars, no, probably every like 6 or 7 guitars I build for people, that I might make one that I'll just post online somewhere because I had the extra materials to build another one. It's a really good question. And I keep waiting for the day that I get a lawyer from EVH and they say, stop doing what you're doing or something. And when the day that I've seen other people say this, the day that happens, I'm framing that letter and putting it up on the wall, man. But but I, again, at the same time, I'm selling them for half. I'm selling them. Thanks, Dave. Good question. Thanks. Good to see you, bud.
Dave.
Yeah, again, I'm selling them for half of what EVH does anyway, and they're used guitars that just look like Eddie's. It's a good question, though.
Yeah, I kind of agree that if they're mass produced, maybe, but
right,
Yeah,
like for example, if I made let's say I made like 5 or 6 of them. I had a batch of bodies and necks, and let's say I put 5 or 6 of them, and then tried to put them in a local music store or something like that. Yeah, then I'm going to get attacked for that. That's commercially trying to sell a copyright.
Oh
item,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
Sure.
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing at all.
No. But Charles Green will have one soon enough.
Charles, actually, when I talked to him today, he came up with something really cool that I don't know if anybody else has done this on your show or on any of these shows, but it's going to make the unboxing extremely convenient because he actually is getting me I don't know if it's an EVH case, but he's getting me a specific case that he's buying and sending it to me so that I can put it in the case. and then wrap up the case, box up the case, and send it to him. So unlike you, Tony, who had to sift through 10 minutes of styrofoam peanuts in bubble wrap with an X-Acto knife and stuff, you know, I feel so bad, but that's the way I pack them. I'm not going to change that. But when Charles gets his, he's going to be able to reveal it like opening a case like Dracula's Coffin, or like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, you know, with the gold tint that lights up the room kind of thing. You know, that's what we're going to do. So I'm actually really excited about that unboxing because it'll take 30 seconds.
He's excited about it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Neil.
And as a matter of fact, wait, real quick. Speaking of the Charles Green thing, and this goes back to something we talked about before, what we were talking about before. I had a conversation with Charles Green and told him that there are different variations of the Frankenstrat I can do depending on his price range too. So I talked to him about, you know, I could do one for $1,200 to $1,500, or I could do one for $800 to $1,000, or I could do, you know, those type of things. These were discussions that I have with all of my customers, and we settled on the price that was comfortable for him, and what electronics and hardware and parts and stuff we could make that work. And that's what I tried to do. You know, that was the price he was comfortable paying, and that's what I'm going to build him. So, sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I got a packaging idea. I'll talk to you after or during the week about it.
I'm open. I'm all ears, man.
I got an idea.
Okay, good, because last week almost destroyed me.
It might be crazy, but I got a good idea.
Okay, cool. Let's talk.
All right, I will.
Sure. Nice.
Oh, I guess I got to show you guys something real quick before I forget. I'm driving today, and I've seen it before, but today I actually stopped and turned around and take a picture of it. I thought this was kind of cool. This is in Keith Campbell's old stomping ground, neck of the woods there.
Oh my God!
Now that's got to be a kick-ass martial arts studio, huh?
That is awesome.
So I can only imagine that they're big Eddie fans or Van Halen fans.
I would want a red, white, and black belt.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's in Keith's old West Nyack, New York. His old stomping grounds.
Awesome.
Let's unbox something.
Yeah.
Not the Holly Lewis package, but let's unbox something else in the meantime. It came this week.
What do we got?
All right, let's slide it there. All right. What is it? What is it? Oh, nice. Sweet. So.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice. Is that camouflage? Ooh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
XXX large. Let me show you guys the sleeves.
Is this a fall weather shirt?
Yes,
Nice.
it is. It's long sleeves, and it's got that on the sleeve.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is awesome.
So, long sleeve action going on.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's on both sleeves like that. So.
That is very cool.
T-Cake, what year is your crew shirt that you're wearing? What's the date on that? 15?
15.
Cool. Is there anything on the back?
No. Nope.
That's nice. I like the camouflage touch. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, me too. So I didn't have a lot of long sleeve. So yeah.
Tony, do you put all your t-shirts in drawers? Like, is it in your dresser, or do you like keep them packaged?
I got a lot of t-shirts.
I know you do.
I got a lot of t-shirts. I like that response.
It's a great tagline for the show.
No, you have to understand a lot of my shirts are stored in these great big Rubbermaid
Yeah, that's what I figured.
things that are like 6 feet long. Yeah.
Did you like vacuum seal them, like those type of things?
I just I mean, Van Halen shirts alone is probably, I don't know, 80.
Wow.
Maybe.
I don't even own 80 t-shirts.
I don't either.
I don't
own 80 of
I don't
anything.
know if I own 80 upper body apparel pieces.
That's why you're not wearing a shirt tonight, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. You're shirtless.
I'm a minimalist when it comes to clothes. You know?
I think the word is nudist.
There you go. With that pink skin and that pink shirt.
Nice.
No, I have to. You know. But yeah, a lot of them are old and I don't wear or wash or wear.
Tony, Holly wants to know, what's the oldest VH t-shirt you have?
The oldest VH t-shirt. I had one out here. The oldest one that's not a reprint is probably, I've still got 91. The ones older than that are reprints.
Yeah.
No, I do have a Memorial Day US Festival.
And that's original?
Original.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, I think I've worn it once on the show. I don't wash it. Yeah, I think that's about the oldest one.
Damn, a 40-year-old t-shirt.
Original. But yeah, no, I mean, they stack up and you get a lot of them, and you know.
It's like people buying 120-year-old Levi Strauss original jeans, you know.
I found my 5150 t-shirt in like one of those those big Tupperware cases in the basement. And I pulled it out, and I'm sure it was probably like 145 pounds back then, but it's like either that or it shrunk because it was like a child's t-shirt. Now it's like I look at it, I was like, I couldn't even get my arm in this thing now,
You gotta like fold it back and then just frame it,
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
A lot of those aren't the heavy duty t-shirts like though back then they were single stitch.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a vague memory of getting like a Van Halen just band t-shirt for Christmas one year when I was in junior high. And I think it was like it had to be like an adult small or something like that. That was the first one I got, but I probably grew out of that within a year. So.
Yeah.
Should have kept it.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the oldest piece of clothing I have. I know I still have a belt that's handmade that I bought on the streets of Barcelona, Spain. And that was almost 25 years ago, 24 years ago now.
Wow, damn.
It still fits. Didn't fit for a while. It fits again now. It's got because there's a lot of pickpockets in Barcelona. It's got a little zipper in the inside where you can hide like you can fit just enough to fit like an ID and a little bit of cash.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like like Bourbon Street. You got to put like $5 or $10 in your pocket.
Yeah.
If they get robbed and you got nothing, they're going to shank you. You don't want to be caught with nothing in your pocket. Just don't carry a wallet either. Beautiful other than that, though.
What do you think about Ed's comment there, John?
What else should they do? I mean, I think they should do a statue. That's what I really think they should do. I mean, I saw the plaque, last week and on the side of the building, and that's a great start. But yeah, I think they need to do something else, especially Pasadena. You know what I mean? They really should have a statue or something like that there. And as far as the kitchen sink thing, doing like a tribute tour, I would be just happy with just one show. I kind of like the whole. I don't, I'll be honest with you. People disagree with me, but I don't want to see Van Halen play together again in any form. I don't want to see Dave and Alex and Mike with some other guitar player. I don't want to, even if it's Wolfgang, I don't want to see that. I have no interest in that. He's gone. It's over. I want to enjoy it and remember it for what it was. But I wouldn't mind them doing like what they did for Freddie Mercury, the tribute concert, minus the parts where they had like Gary Sharon singing with Queen or something like that. I don't want that. But I wouldn't mind a band getting up there, Metallica doing their interpretation, or Foo Fighters, or Extreme or something like that of a Van Halen song.
That's funny. I have shirts like that too, Chris. Yeah, I'm partial to agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily, like, if it was a one-off concert and a lot of other great guitarists went up and did something, as a tribute to him, that's fine. But I agree with you. I wouldn't want to see like a tour of Van Halen again without Eddie. I couldn't
even at a tribute show. I don't want to see them at I don't want to see them play together again without him. It's over. It's over. But if a band gets up there and says, "Hey, Extreme wants to get up and do Mean Street" or something like that, I'd be like, "Yeah, let's hear it." You know what I mean? Or Foo Fighters want to do Dirty Movies. I want to hear their version of it. I want to hear stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying.
I do not want to see that band, any members of the three of them up there without him on the guitar. I just don't want to see it. I'm done. It's over. It's over. But that's me. And people would say I'm crazy. Obviously, you go on Facebook and you have all these people, obviously wanting Wolfgang to play, Panama and stupid stuff like that. But that's just my opinion, Keith says the Van Halen family denied a statue. They did not want a statue.
Oh, really?
Okay. Well, then there's that,
Huh. I think that the first thing that we might see is, with Wolfgang working and out on the road, even if he's not, sooner or later, him and Sam and Mike are going to cross paths. And what's going to happen if Sam and Mike have a show in town and Wolf rolls into town, or vice versa, and they're in town at his show, and they hop on stage and do a Led Zeppelin song or something.
I'd be cool with that.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Right.
Do Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers.
There you go.
There you go.
I think we might see something like that first, but as far as the rest, I don't see it happen. I agree with you, John. But all the rumors that have been going around, I don't think anything is going to happen.
I agree. Keith's got it right. It's over. It's over, Johnny.
Right.
But what I was happy to see last week is, I don't know if did we talk about that, or did we show the picture? There's a picture of Alex and Don Landy, and it's a very recent picture from like within the last month, I would say. Alex and Don Landy.
I hadn't seen it. Have you got it?
And it was in a recording studio. I'm not going to be able to find it quickly. I had it somewhere. But it was like, I was kind of surprised. So it was a recent picture, because Don Landy got very, very old. But the fact that he was in a recording studio with Alex, and they were...
You can do it. You can find it, dude.
I don't know about that, buddy. don't even remember where I saw it, but I did see it, and it was a recent picture. And so they were in a studio, and I guess they were getting a demonstration of some kind of new technology. I don't know if it was like Dolby Atmos or something like that, some kind of new technology. But I'm like thinking to myself, well, hey, you know what? That you got Don Landy, and who has walked away from music, in 1990, I think it was, and he was on to other things. You know what I mean? So, but
Greg Renoff's, it's on Greg Renoff's thing.
It might, and is it on his Twitter?
Yeah.
I might have seen it.
Is it 4 guys standing there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Landy, Gary Lux, Dave Donnelly, and Alex Van Halen. It's originally on David James Donnelly is the original Twitter. Greg Renoff reposted it October, looks like 9th, like 11 days ago.
Let me see if I can find. I think that's where I originally saw it, on Renoff's. Let me see. I think I
put in. It's like hashtag DNA immersive, DNA mastering Dolby Atmos.
That's it. That was it. Yep. Hold on one second. Let's see.
Yeah, he looks old as hell. Alex doesn't actually look that old, but man.
Yeah, Don really got old.
He looks like he's the crypt keeper.
Yeah, he really got old.
I mean, he's a genius,
but that is weird that Alex and Don are.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're checking out the new technology there. I think that's hey, maybe they approached Don and said, hey Don, we want to start looking at some of this stuff, because Ed did say that him and Don had that Radio Shack computer, and they logged a lot of those. Remember? Their Radio Shack computer, and
the thing is, can we get the computer working? If it doesn't, can we find a vintage one to scout for parts, like to get it working?
Right.
Just to hobble it together to get all this stuff and get the information we need.
Maybe this new technology is they've invented something to scan all the tapes,
the old files. Yeah.
I mean, or it might be like taking old 2-inch tape and actually having to physically bake about 1.5 foot at a time.
Yeah.
I've been there and watched the guys do it at a studio where I worked, and you only get one shot.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so that gave me I was like, oh, a little hope there that maybe maybe they're already thinking of starting to look at some of this stuff. But where's the picture? Let me see. You said it was like the 9th or 10th, Tom?
That's when the picture I saw was posted. I should have kept it up. I had it.
Yeah, I'm looking at Renoff's I'm at the 10th now. I don't see it here, but I'm pretty sure I did see it on his on. Where is it?
John, while you're looking, just to stir the pot, going back about a minute ago to what Keith's comment was, it's over. It's over, Johnny. If I'm correct, and that's the line from First Blood, Rambo responded immediately and said, nothing is over. I used to have that whole speech memorized, so I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit. But
that's true. You're absolutely right, Neil.
That's a good line, though, Keith. That's good. Good stuff, man.
While we're waiting on John to find that Analog Kid, what did Wolfgang do this week?
He did a bunch of gigs. 1, 2, 3, 4. He did like 5 gigs since Neil saw him.
Damn.
There was a mixture of headlining gigs, and then he did a radio one-off.
Are they all? Was he doing club shows? Are they all club shows?
Yeah, they're all clubs. Yeah.
Cool.
They range in different capacities. I can go through them all. First, he played the Cotillion Ballroom in Wichita, Kansas, 2,000 people. His standard 14-song set list when he plays a headline gig is Don't Back Down. This is what Neil probably saw. Horribly Right, Mammoth, Mr. Ed, Resolve, Talk and Walk, Think It Over, You're to Blame, The Big Picture, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Feel, You'll Be the One, Stone, Distance, and Epiphany. Then he played on the 16th, the Bourbon Theater in Lincoln, Nebraska. That was a small show, only 637. And he did his full 14-song set from the night before. Mm-hmm. Then he played a Cat Fest, which was a radio show in an outdoor amphitheater in Oklahoma City. The place holds 7,000. was on the 17th, the Zoo Amphitheater, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And he did his 7-song radio set, which is Don't Back Down, Mammoth, Mr. Ed, Think It Over, You're to Blame, Distance, and Epiphany. Then he went down to Florida and played the Club LA in Destin, Florida. 600 capacity, and he did his full 14-song set, the headline set that Neil saw. And then tonight he's scheduled for the Mars Music Hall in Huntsville, Alabama. And the capacity there, it's a rather big venue. It's 1,575.
Yeah. Damn, that looks good.
There's Don Landiolo on the other end. He got very old.
Yeah, Don.
Alex looks great.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we can only hope that that means something. It was a mastering. It says mastering studio. So.
Boy.
So Analog Kid, we've got Wolfgang shows lasting through
the 23rd.
Saturday, and then it's unless he adds something between then and June of next year in Europe, opening for the Scorpions remains to be seen. So
now, did he just hurt himself last night?
This morning.
This morning.
Yeah.
I got the impression that he was going to kind of stop for a while. He was just going to do this, finish what he's doing, and then that was it for a while. I don't know. I don't know if I misinterpreted that or what. Maybe I did.
You think he's done promoting his album?
Or just taking a break for a while. I don't know. Anybody else hear that? I kind of got that impression. I know he said he's going to lay off Instagram and things like that. I think maybe I'm confusing it with that. I don't know.
John, that's a really interesting. I had this discussion with I forgot who it was. I was talking about this the other day, and we were trying to decide. The one thing I really don't know about Wolf is if he's as much a studio rat as Eddie is, because I'm kind of inclined to believe he probably developed a lot of the same type of work ethic that Eddie did. I think he's probably very similar in that sense. Yeah. In which case, I could see him now. Again, to everybody out there, I have no knowledge of this, and I'm not pretending I know something. It's just speculation. But I wouldn't be surprised if he took 3 months off from touring and immediately started recording again. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, he has the studio now and he loves it at that place, so I could see him wanting to get back in there, as soon as possible.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
At the same time, I think that this album still has a lot of life in it. I think that he's going to go out next summer and tour, but I almost think he could just maybe he could just continue to tour small theaters on his own all over the country. You could do that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the tough thing for that, being an artist, this is where it's going to be tough because the record label is going to push you to keep promoting the album. That's what they're going to want to do. They want to squeeze every dime out of it that they possibly can. But Wolf himself has been sitting on some of these songs for 5 years.
True.
So, that's kind of that's a tough give and take. This is the very opposite of the way Van Halen recorded in their early years. Yep. They would tour for 9 months and record an album in 2 weeks and then go right back out on tour and stuff. So Wolf, part of me wonders how much power he has over the future of the band compared to what the record label may want him to do. Because he, for all we know, he might have another album in the can already, ready to go. And in which case then, it makes you wonder, does he want to go on tour with the Scorpions, continuing to play the same album that he toured if he's got new material? Some bands will do that if, like Guns N' Roses has been touring with the same set for the last 5 years because they've written 1 or 2 new songs.
I think this record's got a lot of life left.
I think it does too. I just wonder if he wants to keep playing it. These songs are new to us. They're not new to him.
Is he ready and when to start playing larger capacity venues as a headliner? I mean, is he ready now?
I don't think he's ready now. I think he's probably going to need to get at least another album, another real good album, solid one like this, and then he can step up to the next level. I mean, kid, you could probably say more stuff about that stuff. When you think he could jump up to, the next level.
Yeah, well, like you said, he'd have to have more material. Can't do it on one record,
Right.
Definitely.
Also, booking agents will make that determination. It's it'll come down to ticket sales.
True.
Well,
if they pair him up with another band too, that's
Sure.
a known
Yeah,
band,
yeah, he could be on a like tour with Alter Bridge or something like that.
Right.
Another heavy drawing band.
Yeah, and he's friends with Tremonti and all that, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
He double bill.
I think, and from what I understand, from what he says, I don't think he really has anything completely recorded. He just has a lot of ideas and things like that, little, but nothing, no songs like completely in the can or anything like that. That's what he claims anyway. So I don't know.
What about Neil? If he hopped out with Slash and Miles out on
I was thinking that. You read my mind. I was absolutely thinking that because Slash's album is done. His fourth album with Miles Kennedy, or fourth or fifth, I think his fourth one. They're dropping a new single Saturday, and that album's done. And this has been a bone of contention of me with Axl Rose for a long time because basically the holdup of any future Guns N' Roses music is Axl Rose because the proof is in the pudding. Slash has recorded 4 more albums since they started. He's been on tour with Guns, so it's certainly not a lack. There's no lack of output on his end. But I know that they have dates scheduled that they're going to want to tour and kind of find that sweet spot between, because they all have other gigs too. Miles has a solo career too and does Alter Bridge and stuff. But man, oh man, I mean, I've seen Slash and Miles Kennedy and those guys with Frank Sidoris. I've seen them 3 or 4 times, and that's an incredibly tight band, and it's good. And this album, from what they described, it sounds like they recorded it for the first time as a group in a live setting. They all recorded in the same rehearsal space, drums, bass, vocals, everything. So they said it sounds like a live album, which is really cool. And they thought that kind of gave them some juice, gave them some life to make it a little different than the other ways that they've recorded. But if they go out on tour, and Slash usually does a short tour with Miles Kennedy, he doesn't. Yeah. When he's gone out with them, it's been 3 months, 4 months. That's it. It's certainly not like it's certainly not a 10 to 12 month tour. If he does that, I would love to see Wolfgang go out on tour with him and play with them. And at that point, we don't even know, Wolfgang may be a bigger draw than Slash's band. Like, that would be interesting if they alternated headlining gigs. If one night Slash headline, the next night Wolf did. Who knows?
It'll probably never happen, but
well, if it did, poor Frank. Oh my God, what a long night for him. I mean,
let me ask you
you would have to think Wolfgang would have a different guitarist by then.
Let me ask you this. I've seen a little bit of it, and it seems like that they don't miss a beat. But have you seen much of the YouTube stuff without Frank?
Just the concert I saw, just the one I saw, and it was perfectly fine.
Did Wolf do his parts?
Yeah, I mean, here's to the, I've seen from the YouTube videos I saw of the full band playing together, Wolf pretty much would sing his verses without playing the guitar much, at least from what I saw. It seemed like he brought his guitar in during the choruses and during the solos and bridges and stuff like that, but it seemed like he sang a lot without playing. The only real difference was when they played at the Whiskey and Frank wasn't there. Wolf did play more throughout every song, so they still had 2 guitar parts in almost every song, and you didn't really notice. And I'm a stickler for, when I listen to the album, I listen to each individual guitar part. That's the way my ear is trained. Right. I listen to all of that.
Sure.
Seeing it live, you didn't really know. First of all, the sound at the whiskey was awesome, so it didn't sound, there's not much difference between 2 guitars and 3 guitars at the whiskey because you still get a wall of sound coming at you.
Those layers that Wolf made, those guitar layers, Frank does a great job of playing one of those parts live. Great.
Yeah, he does.
Great,
But
great job.
there are certainly. I mean, the recordings themselves certainly lend themselves to having 3 guitarists play live. There are some people that might see them now as a 4-piece and be like, "Oh, you don't need Frank." Well, if you listen to each individual track, there's certainly at least 3 guitar parts in every song. So it does warrant for them to recreate the album faithfully. It definitely helps having 3 guitars because they're not just doubling up chords. They're all playing their own. There's 3 guitar parts to every song. But the one thing, Frank Frank wasn't like the lead harmony backup singer with the band. It's the other guitar player and the bass player. And so when Frank has to step out during this period, even the vocal harmony parts in the choruses still sound like the album. They still sound great. I hate to say, I guess for lack of a better explanation,
hey, Brian,
as much as I feel terrible for what Frank and his wife went through, and God, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. The one thing I will say is, if the other guitar player, Robin, or that's his name, right? Robin. I'm trying to think.
Jordan or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
John Jordan.
I kind of feel like if he would have, their performances would change if he was the one that was out, if he had to take a break, because he does the primary backup singing and harmonizes with Wolf really, really well.
Right.
Like in a song like "Feel," he sings the chorus. Wolf just yells, "And I feel," and the other guy sing, that type of stuff. So I don't want to make it sound by all means, I don't mean to make it sound like Frank is interchangeable or expendable. That's not what I mean by any means.
No,
but
you watch his parts live, the whole tour. Yeah, he but Wolf's doing a little bit more.
Yeah. Boy, they carry themselves well as a 4-piece.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess in lay terms, in a boot for
4-piece and a boot.
Yeah, if I was to put this in layman terms for anybody else, that had I brought somebody to the show at the whiskey that didn't see them before as a 5-piece, they would have never known. And I guess that's the best compliment to the 4 guys.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I will agree with that.
Well, fellas, I'm going to pack it in.
Yeah, it's late for you, man. I know that you said you had to go almost a half hour ago.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be feeling it at 3 o'clock. I'll be thinking of you guys.
John's got to get up early.
3 a.m.
John,
hey, we'll be thinking of you too.
Thanks.
John Conklin, there he is.
John Conklin, thanks, buddy.
See
you guys next week.
Got it. Go get some sleep.
Thanks. See you later.
Later, dude.
Tony, I don't have to go to sleep, but I'm gonna have to go too. Kyan needs me.
All right, bro.
So.
Well, we should probably
we got to unboxing still.
Yeah, we do. That's true.
Yeah.
I can't leave yet. All right, Tom.
All right, gentlemen.
Bye, Tom.
Peace out, buddy.
See you, Tommy.
Later.
Put a shirt on.
Good week, dude. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. Nice. We got a cool unboxing that we are going to do. All right. Let's find out where we are on the map. Let's take care of a couple of things first. Guys and girls in the chat, that this is going to be a really, really cool unboxing. And there's a link for Holly Lewis down in the description. I want you to remember that her Facebook group link.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But first, we're going to take care of a couple of matters. Neil Daly,
Yeah.
Daly Custom Designs. The links are in the description. If you need to contact Neil about a build or an idea for a build,
Yep.
he will be glad to talk to you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I don't get enough talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. So for those with Tattoos Inc., the original essential tattoo care, high-grade formulas with organic ingredients to hydrate and protect environment and reef safe. Fight the fade. Take care of the ink on your body. And our friend
Yes.
Brendan B. Squared handcrafts custom cigar box guitars that look a lot like those.
Hashtag
his
angry butt
links.
cheeks.
Yes. Aren't they? Wow. Yeah. His links are down below. Brendan
Those are
B.
cool too, man. Those are so cool.
Squared. Am I missing anything? Yes. Legend Picks. Links are in the description.
Yes.
And Legend Picks made these things.
They're beautiful too. I got a bunch of them, and I've photographed them. I've played with them. I'm throwing them in with my builds too. So they're awesome.
And if you want one, you know how to get one. You know. All right. Drum roll. All right.
I hope the lovely Holly is still with us.
Holly, are you still here?
Let's hope she's still in. If not, she'll catch us on the replay, no doubt. So.
All right. I trust that I'm going to change angles here. All right. So I get this really cool shaped, cool shaped box in the mail. Got a pretty good idea what it is.
Oh, good. Holly's still with us. Wonderful.
All righty. Okay, Holly. You are.
Now, Holly, you get to experience what I experience when somebody's unboxing your stuff live.
Okay. Holly, I love the box. I've been trying to think if I saved it, what I could use it for. I got nothing.
Cool. Keith just pointed out that Legend Picks made Kurt's picks over at the 5150 show too. So that's awesome.
Oh,
Good.
nice.
Very cool.
Very nice.
The Rev.
Yeah. Legend Picks. Where are they at? Right there.
Nice.
And there. Looks like that over there. Yeah.
Cool.
Made those. Their list of the stuff. If you click on Legend Picks link down there, it shows the cover and it shows the artist endorsements and the picks and sticks. Ted Nugent, Ace Frehley.
Awesome.
The list goes on and on and on and on.
Awesome.
Yeah. NEZ SEZ too. That's who Dave got his from.
Killer. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So this is in this. It is a tubular thing wrapped up in nice wrapping paper. You wrap this up, Holly?
I'm sure she did.
Wasn't wrapped by no dude.
We should hire her for all our holiday wrapping.
Wow. All right. So.
Holly.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So here we are. I need a roadie to come hold the other side of
That's
the sign.
decent size. That's a decent size poster.
This is a 18 by 24.
Very nice.
Holly's links are in the description. And there is her poem.
So if I can just jump on that for the people that don't know, for everybody in the chat that's unfamiliar with this, Holly is a creative type like a lot of us out there. She's a writer and she lives in Nashville, and she wrote an original poem for this poster. She came up with this. Obviously, she was moved just as well as the rest of us by Eddie's passing, and created an original poem, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant, and she managed to coordinate with, and Holly, forgive me if I'm saying any of this wrong, but she coordinated with the artist to put together this package. She got this poster, and what she wanted to do was sell these and have a portion of the proceeds go to Mr. Holland's Opus as a charity, because that was one of Eddie Van Halen's favorite charities. So this is all for a good cause, and it benefits one of Eddie's favorites, and that, so she's doing this for the love and passion that we all share for Eddie Van Halen, and for giving back in his name, kind of thing. So for, and I apologize if I'm butchering the explanation of it, but I 100% support her, and I'm proud of her, and love the fact that she shared this with us, and she wanted to get this out there. So for people out there, please, if you haven't had the chance, at least go take a look, follow her links, read the poem, and purchase a poster, and the money goes to a good cause. So I can't think of a better tribute to Eddie than this.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to buy a frame.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm certainly happy. And again, I started the show off by thanking the people in the chat and the people involved with the show for the platform that I get to talk about this stuff. And I've made a lot of great friends with this. Holly is one that I consider a great friend now. I've talked to her on the phone. She's a sweetheart, and the fact that she did this and wrote this and is putting that out there, I think is just amazing. So please, people, go out there and support it.
Thank you so much.
Yep,
Holly.
absolutely. Holly Lewis, people, please look her up. That's awesome, though. That's a good size poster. I love it.
18 by 24. Wow.
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow.
So cool.
Holly, thank you so much. Yes. Her links are down below, and they'll be down below until these sell out. So
Yep.
If you want one, you can find one.
Yeah. And by the way, I should point out too, the poem itself is really good. So please, people, buy it so you can read it. Like her words, she's a writer. She's good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
please,
gorgeous.
by all means.
It is gorgeous. Holly, thank you.
Yep. What a great unboxing. That was really cool.
That
very
is,
cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop and get a frame. Not that Never mind. I'm looking. I do have one or two things around that are on top of something, but yeah, goodness.
That's awesome. That was a good unboxing. Well worth
Yeah,
the wait.
absolutely. So is Wolf gonna stand or is he gonna sit? I say he's gonna stand.
You know, boy, he
Unless
does
he's called Dave Grohl already.
right. Well, he's certainly for all the people that have seen him. It's not like he moves around a whole lot on stage. You know, he kind of occupies his space in front of the microphone, and he inhabits that space and doesn't run side to side and do a lot of that stuff. But that's, you know, his set is 14 songs right now that he's playing on his own gigs. 14 songs. Kid, you said you know,
Yeah.
basically every song but Circles. That's tough to be on a bum ankle, man. That's tough.
Well, he's in Huntsville, Alabama, and he's doing his thing tonight. So
We'll know soon enough.
know soon enough from the grand old YouTubes.
Yep. I'll be checking it out.
Down. Yeah.
As soon as we get off, I'm gonna be scouring, waiting for people that uploaded videos already.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
I know, me too. Me too.
Oh yeah, goodness. Yeah. All right. So
Dave Grohl's chair is not going to fit into the size venues that he's playing. That was built for like stadium shows.
Yeah,
It's
no,
massive.
it's big.
He's
It's
playing
big.
these little tiny stages. There's no room.
it'll
You have
be
to just sit on like a
interesting,
desk chair.
yeah, to see if he does anything. If it's a boot and it's walkable, then he may not do anything. You know.
Hey, I'm just
Someone
gonna
said
jump in.
earlier, better not be his waft foot.
I just want to give a quick shout to Tony Marks in the chat who mentioned he saw Simon's guitar, the 5150 I built for him, and he's given me a shout out. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Tony. Pleasure to meet you. And yeah, that's great. That's awesome. He's going to be talking about it on his podcast. So very cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love
Thanks.
the people in our chat. You guys are awesome. You guys make this worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. There are links down below, kids, in the description. NEZ SEZ every Thursday, 8 p.m. The British Electric Blues 5150 show. Andrew, Brad, and Kurt, the Rev.
And feel everybody that watches that show, please feel free to give your condolences to Kurt, because with Russell Wilson out for the Seahawks, Kurt has not been himself lately. So
no. Russell. He went to North Carolina State.
Yeah, and then transferred to Wisconsin too. Yeah. Kurt's bumming about that. So I just felt that's just another fun dig on my brother from another mother.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Yes, I think Kurt and Andrew and Brad have a show coming up Friday night upcoming. They usually go every other week on the Van Halen shows. And I think it's this week upcoming.
Yeah, I also think I don't know if this is locked in stone, but I think they're trying to recruit Simon Hosford to be a regular contributor.
He's perfect on that show.
He's absolutely perfect.
Perfect on that.
Agreed.
Love Simon.
Agreed. So if that gives him a format to, I mean, I know that obviously the guy's busy, but it works, especially it works in their time frame. You know, Kurt's the only one out of their time zone. So it works perfectly for them. So people, make sure you check that out too. We love to cross promote other people's shows. So, yeah.
Brad and him live close to each other too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They have a fun. If anybody's paid attention, they have a fun little sarcastic banter back and forth where they kind of rib each other about Simon's going to make Brad be his roadie on stage and back and forth and stuff. They're fun to watch. They're actually fun to watch.
And the content is top notch.
Yeah,
Always.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Neil, does Simon do the Van Halen show or the Electric Blues show? Because I've never seen him on there.
He has so far as I know, he's only talked about doing the Van Halen show, but they have talked. No, I think he's going to be doing the Electric Blues show because they were talking about. Oh God, who was the last band that they were just talking about? It wasn't
The Doors?
No, it was after that. They did one since then. Oh man, I can't believe I know.
Humble Pie.
Humble Pie. Yes.
Pie, yeah.
Thank you. I think Simon might have been a part of that discussion too, so I think he might be doing all the British Electric Blues. But I know Simon has actually said, he's going to go on their show and do a Van Halen one, and he's going to bring the 5150 guitar that I built as well with the new neck that I already sent him. I sent him a backup neck, that just in case. So he's going to go on that show eventually.
Did he install it, or is he going to use the one?
No, he hasn't even got it yet. It's going to be. It could take 2 weeks to get there. I don't know. I honestly don't know which one he's going to prefer. He did ask for the backup one. He wanted to not be as relict on the fretboard like Eddie's was. The one I built him was more live without a net era specific, and he said he wanted the backup to be less relict on the fretboard, more just clean maple. So I don't know which one he's going to prefer. And, it doesn't matter to me. It's his guitar now. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So Neil, Kid, nice to see you guys. Everybody, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Am I forgetting anything? Let's see. Anybody in the chat? Am I forgetting anything?
I don't know. Just good show all across the board, everybody. Thanks to John and Tom who had to step out early. We appreciate that. Kid, Fruitcake, Tony, always a pleasure to see you guys. Always a pleasure.
Always
Sandra, who's been monitoring us, keeping us in check. We appreciate that.
And
Holly.
Holly Lewis.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Read her poem.
To get
it's beautiful.
you one of these is down below. And proceeds go to Mr. Holland Opus Foundation.
Yeah.
If you have a charity, that's fine, but this is a great one.
Yep.
And plus, you want to have this poster. You want
this
poster.
Agreed.
Absolutely, you want this. All right, guys. We're out of here.
All right, kids.
Everybody have a great week.
Love you all. See you next week.
You'll see you right here next Wednesday. Halenville Live. See ya.